Dudes, lady dudes, how you doing? This is the Cheshire Gengar, and welcome back to the channel. We're doing a update for the blackwing deck because it was requested. Yeah, that's all that really matters. Whatever y'all request, I don't mind building, especially blackwings because I love this deck. So next up on the menu is going to be the go second build for this deck, which I personally enjoy very much. This actually doesn't mind going first or second sometimes. You've got some options now going second, so it's not entirely bad. Um let's see, yeah, we'll just jump straight into it because if you haven't already seen the first video I posted, just go ahead and watch that. Not too much has changed. I'll mostly be breezing through this and stopping on the actual significant changes. Before we begin, let me give a shout out to Mega Capital G, the YouTuber, for signing this playmat for me at a regionals, and also a huge shout out to the DB Grinder. I watch his channel quite frequently, and he has such good content, such good commentary. Very fun to watch. I also got these tokens in a giveaway from him, so it was great. We'll get into it. What we have to do the monsters would be the 3 Simoons and 3 Gust the Bat Blast for the starters. The best starter, as well as a starter that just gets a name on the board. Your other normal summons, you've just got 2 Osters and a Blizzard because the North-South combo, and also you want 2 Osters and sometimes 3 just because the level 4 part's important, and the other normal summon is a Zephyros, but you probably don't want to normal summon him, you just want to use him for combo. Extenders, will just do 3 Chris, yes 3, you don't need to play 3, you can play 2, and 3 Bora, but because we're so heavily linked 4 related, we will want to max out on the spammable level 4s. We also have a Gale, the Harmat, and the Orochi. That's pretty basic Blackwing lineup. The last few monsters we have are the Strangolanius and the Raider's Wing, as well as the Boots, because combo. And then the last 2 are the Nail Shadal Ariel and the Shadal Dragon. We are playing a 5-card Shadal package, just the 3 fusions and the 2 monsters. I bounce back and forth between these 2 and maybe a Beast or a Shadal Genius, because Genius will be able to turn off a face-up card your opponent controls, and Op Cologne on being summoned will do the same thing, so that's pretty helpful to turn off 2 cards, but also Dragon to pop and spell a trap when sent to the grave. And then the Aerial we play just because it banishes 3 cards out of your opponent's graveyard, which can be huge, so just got to make sure that you pick and choose which Shadals are best to play. But I think with a little more playtesting and less misplaying on my part in the first testing of this deck, I think that the Shadal package is viable as a going second or first strategy, just because you have the option of setting up the window or the App Cologne, depending on if you're going first or second. For the spells, we have the 3 Black Whirlwinds, the 3 Allures, the 3 Dark Ruler No Mores for going second, the 3 Shadal Fusion, 3 Cosmic Cyclone, the 2 rank up spells, and your Shade Brigadine. Whirlwind standard, allures, good draw spell. I actually allured into an allure and was very upset. I had enough darks to pay for it, but still, it's not what you want to do. Dark Ruler No More is great because you can open this with the ability to go full combo, and you don't mind going second because you get that Rusty pop during your combo and blow up a card. Use your battle phase, run over the rest of their board, even especially if they overextended. Now you've got the ability to set up the Kali Yuga play, take them down, and then just kill them on the next turn. So it doesn't necessarily suck to go second in this deck, especially with the Shadow Fusions, because you can send the Dragon to pop a spell, the Beast to draw a card if you chose to play that one, the Genius to turn a card off if you chose to play that one, but you also have the Aerial to banish 3 out of the grave. So that's a lot of utility, a lot of options, but also when you summon the App Cologne, it turns a card off on the field, as well as the Winda being Winda. And then the Cosmic Cyclones, because I went XO for the first 3 rounds, went 3-0 the first 3 rounds, and then ran into 2 back-to-back back row players when I wasn't playing any back row removal like Cosmic. So it really became, you definitely need to have these in the main deck. You don't want to give up that game 1 to back row decks just because you chose not to main deck any at all. I think that was what was those 2 decks? One was either a Shaddoll Eldritch or a Zombie Eldritch. Can't remember which one. But also the other one was the Flippy Boys, the Subtiers. Yeah, those were very annoying as well. But of course we have the Brigadine to round out the deck. And we mostly will move on to the combos that were so heavily requested once we're done with this. For the extra deck, you want your Ultimate Falcon, your DDD Duo Don King Caliuga, your Arsenal Falcon, your Xyz Dragon. The Arsenal Falcon is the reason you play the Ultimate Falcon. The Raiders Knight, the Redoer. Oh my god, this card came in so clutch. It kept taking spells off the top of my opponent's deck, and I just kept getting free draws off it. It was great. I think I took a Prosperity, took a what was that card called? The Invoked Meltdown. Yeah, I took a lot of spells off the top with him, and he was just very helpful. If you take a trap off the top, even better. But you usually make him with a trap under him anyway, so taking a spell off the top and being able to get all 3 effects off just feels great. 4 Strix, because combo. And then the Big Daddy Armor Master. The Berserker of Tenyi. The Draco Berserker of Tenyi. He's pretty clutch sometimes. He has a quick effect to banish an opponent's monster when that monster activates its effect. So since he's a level 8 synchro, depending on how you open your hand, you can make him as before your 5th summon, and when they activate the Nibiru, you can just banish that Nibiru out of their hand, and well, you're safe from Nibiru now. We also have the Hawkjo for the North-South combo, the Nerthung, the Starlight, the Rusty, Y-Strix, and then your 2 fusions for the Shaddoll package, your App Cologne and your Winda. Your when it gets summoned, target a face-up card on the field, negate its effects, and your Winda being Winda. But also, when App Cologne goes to the grave, you can add a Shaddoll from your Shaddoll card from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and then discard a card so you can get free effects off. And the Winda, it goes to the grave. You can get a Shaddoll spell and trap from your graveyard and add it to your hand, so you can you usually can find some ways to keep recovering and keep going even if you get messed up. But usually it's a great going second package because of all the effects you can get off of 1 fusion summon. Let's see. The side deck was a Zeus, the Samorg Link, the Alphas to pair with the Kaijus for the bounce summon, bounce run over, or yeah, the summon, bounce, summon, run over. Summon this, bounce, summon this, run over. Samorg for the back row decks. When you summon this off of the Samorg Link monster, they can't set spell and traps, and this won't be able to be targeted, so Imperm won't help them either. That's usually pretty good, pretty devastating going first against back row decks if they just can't set cards. Even Shaddolls, if they can't set their monsters face down, it can be pretty bad sometimes. Lancia, Droll is Droll, Barrier Statue is Barrier Statue, and then the last 3 probably going to get taken out, but we'll see what happens. 3 summon limits. Sometimes it hurts you, but if you're using this to beef up the Kali Yuga combo, then it could hurt them entirely. You definitely want to watch out for things like Super Poly, but it's Super Poly and you're playing an all darks deck. Sometimes it just sucks, so you want to at least make sure they can't continue comboing off that much after they Super Poly you. So it's kind of just mitigating the damage there. But we'll get set up for the combos and I'll show each one is basically as they go. Alrighty, so the basic combo, the bread and butter combo is the Simoon and any blackwing. You can also do this with, well, Simoon and any blackwing that can be special summoned. And you can also do it with any 3 blackwings you can get onto the field, as long as one of them's a level 4. What we do with this is, of course, activate the Simoon, banish the Bora. That searches us out the Remolino Oscuro. We'll summon the Simoon, trigger the Whirlwind, and that will search us the Oster. We'll summon the Oster, activate it, chain the Whirlwind, so that will grab us the Harmattan off of the Whirlwind, and the Bora comes back off of the Oster. We'll go ahead and at this point, you can summon this. And if you're worried about Nib, you can either use these 2 if you have another level 4 in your hand, like a Chris or another Bora to summon. You can use these 2 to make the Berserker of Tenyu, and when that'll be your 5th summon, and when they activate Nib, you can just banish the Nib out of their hand. Or you can use this, and using this as effect to target that and become a 6. You can make a 10 and just make the full Armor Master who will survive the Nibiru. Depends on what your hand is and what you think you need to do, but you have options. But assuming that your opponent just said, hey, I have no hand traps, you're free to play, we'll just do the bread and butter combo, which would be using these 2 to make our Y-Strix, and our Y-Strix effect will trigger, which will let us summon the Raider's Wing. When we use that to summon the Raider's Wing, we're going to overlay these 2 in order to make our Forstrix. And then when we use our Forstrix, we're going to make sure that we detach the Raider's Wing specifically. And that will also activate our Y-Strix effect because the Forstrix activated. What we're going to do with that is the Forstrix can search you any level 4 dark winged beast from your deck. We prefer to get the Strangulanius or another Oster because we will be banishing the Harmattan and can play this next turn to go into full Armor Master. Just depending on what you think will be necessary. Personally, I like grabbing the Strangulanius to ensure that we'll kill them on the next turn after Kali Yuga does its job. So we'll keep the Strangulanius here. The Y-Strix added us the rank up magic force and put that face down and can be activated this turn. Next on this, you want to make sure that with this quick play spell, you get all of your synchro and link plays out of the way, because it does lock you into only Exceeds plays for the rest of the turn. So get your synchro and links out of the way beforehand. So if I had the Shadal Fusion, I would go ahead and save it for next turn, because this window will make you not be able to continue the combo, but also this won't let you fusion summon. So just got to keep that in mind. It's usually not a problem because they're both just powerful options and you just take which option feels better. If they happen to kill all of this combo and you're still sitting on a Shadal Fusion, well, there you go, window, and we're good. Continuing the combo, we have the Y-Strix and the Bora being used to make the Rusty Bardiche. The Rusty Bardiche is going to activate, and it's going to send our PK monster, the Boots, and set our other rank up spell, and we'll banish the Boots in order to get the Shade Brigandine. After we do that, we're going to use the Raider's Wing in the graveyard to detach the Oster and summon himself. And we'll use the Shade Brigadine to summon itself. Use it and the Raider's Wing to make you a Time Thief Redoer. Then we'll go ahead and use the Rank Up Magic Force. We'll banish the Ystrix, the Harmattan, and the Simoon in order to go ahead and turn the Forstrix into a Arsenal Falcon. What that does is, if this happens to go to the field, we'll just get a free Ultimate Falcon with a material under it. A Raid Raptor material, because that matters for his effect. But the other thing we can do with this is basically the last step of the combo. We detach the Forstrix, and that leaves this with no material, so that this can turn it into Kali Yuga. But also, by detaching that, this allows you to special summon any level 4 winged beast from your deck. Normally it would have to be dark, because that's how Raid Raptors work. This one doesn't. So, summoning any level 4 winged beast, I could summon a Zephyros, or I could summon a Barrier Statue. If I summon Barrier Statue, let's just say I have sided it in or choose to main deck it. If I summon Barrier Statue off of this, their only options are pretty much going to be, they can't super poly this, because they won't be able to attempt to summon darks by using my stuff, so that makes it better. That actually gives a good reason to go ahead and main deck that in. But also, you cannot, they have to use their battle phase in order to get over the Barrier Statue. Let's just say they normal summon something, an Oviraptor. They attack over the Barrier Statue. Oh no, it's dead. Who cares? Activate this. Chain the Redoer. That'll send this to the grave. This to the grave. Compulse the Oviraptor back to the top of their deck. That gets banished until next turn. This goes ahead and resolves. Drops a Kali Yuga on the board. Now they pretty much just can't play. On your next turn, you draw for turn. It doesn't matter what you draw, because you have a Dark Exceed that has a Dark Exceed as a material. So you have a Dark Monster, you can special summon Stranglelanius. You have the Dark Exceeds with the Dark Exceeds, you can bring back a level 4 Raid Raptor. You can overlay these two. You can make a Raider's Knight. You can detach the Stranglelanius. You can make an Arc Rebellion. Now it's up to you. Did your opponent end the game or end their turn by just not having anything on the field, so you have nothing that needs negated? Cool. Detach the Raider's Knight. Now, you basically have a choice. If the Raider's Wing stays equipped, your Arc Rebellion can't be targeted with card effects. But if the Raider's Knight stays equipped, then it, by activating that effect, it turns off all monsters on the field. So you get to pick and choose which effect you want to keep, which is just good utility to have. But anyway, we'll detach that. Have an Arc Rebellion activate its effect. Its attack becomes 365, 8,600 off of these 3 monsters alone. That's assuming that Oviraptor or whatever they used to summon to get over your Barrier Statue was the only thing they could summon after Kali Yuga hit field. And also you compulse that normal summoned monster back to the top of their deck with the Redoer. So now they're wide open. If you need it, the Duo Don King Kali Yuga can detach its material and destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. Just to destroy all the back row, which this would have died at end phase last turn anyway, so you're not losing anything. But now you've got game on board, and that's why I choose to grab the Stranglelanius instead of like an Oster or anything. Alright, so now that y'all have seen that combo, I'll show the north-south combo, and that'll pretty much do it. Alright, y'all. This is gonna be what happens when you open a Simoom and a Borer like we did last time, but we're also opening an Oster with it. So if you open either the Oster or the Blizzard, you have the north-south combo. What's gonna happen is we're going to activate the Simoom like always, banishing the Borer. That is going to get us access to our continuous spell, the Remolino Oscuro. I just like saying that in Spanish. That summons out the Simoom, which lets you search, and since you already have the Oster, we are just going to go ahead and grab the other one that you don't have, and grab the Blizzard. Now that we have your north-south in hand, what we're going to do is normal summon the Oster, use it and the Whirlwind in order to search out a Harmattan and bring the Borer back. We're going to special summon the Harmattan, not use its effect, and use these two to make a 6. What's going to happen here, and this combo does work out a lot better if your opponent controls a dark, or went first. If you're going second, this is great. You can normal summon this, drop your opponent's attack points, or one of their monsters' attack points by 800, attack and defense, and also burn them for 800. Yes, you can use that to win in game. It's great. After that, we're gonna normal summon our Harmattan or Blizzard. Blizzard's gonna activate, and the Whirlwind's gonna activate, and then we got the normal summon that extra time because of the Northung. We're gonna use the Blizzard summon to search the Orochi the Squall, and we're going to use his effect to bring back the Harmattan the Dust. Now we're going to activate the Harmattan's effect, and we're going to target the Nathung, so the Harmattan goes up by 6 and becomes an 8. We're going to use the 2 and the 8 in order to summon the Big Daddy level 10 full armor master. And we can summon the Orochi the Squall and use it and our Nathung in order to summon our Hawkjoe, the Blackwing Tamer. Hawkjoe. What we're gonna do when that happens is you're gonna have a choice on what you want to do. I personally prefer to use the Oster from Grave. Banish itself to give your opponent's monsters wedge counters. If you choose to do that, this is the going second combo anyway, you get their monster that full armor master can steal. His steal is not a hard once per turn, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the Simoom and the full armor master now that he's stolen something, and we're going to use them to make a Y-Strix. The Y-Strix is going to do its thing, and it's going to give us our favorite target for it, the Raider's Wing. Of course, you know we can overlay those two, and we can make the 4 Strix. We'll detach the Raider's Wing in order to use the 4 Strix and the Y-Strix. That gets us our follow-up card in the Strangulanius, as well as gets us our rank up spell right here. Alright, so we'll keep the Strangulanius in hand, and we can go ahead and, depending on what monsters our opponent had, if they had another dark monster, then even better. If they had any dark monster, we can steal that and use it to make our Rusty Barty. So let's just say the monster we stole is a dark. We'll link that away, and the Y-Strix away in order to summon the Rusty Barty. Remember, all your opponent's monsters still have wedge counters on them. That will be important later. So now we have the Rusty Bardish. We're going to use his effect in order to banish our, or disintegrate our boots in order to get our rank up spell, as well as banish the boots in order to get the Shade Brigadine. And then next what we're going to do is we're going to detach the material from that in order to bring the Raider's wing back out. We'll use the Rusty Bardiche to summon itself and then overlay on these in order to get us our Time Thief Redoer back. You could, since you're going second, wow, my cat just decided to take off running like a crackhead. That was fantastically hilarious. Anywho, Time Thief Redoer, summon it to Rusty Zone so you can pop another card your opponent controls. And then after that, you use the Hawk Joe. You can use his effect to bring back any level 5 or higher winged beast. Guess what he is? Brings back the full armor master, and because your monsters on your opponent's side of the field still have their wedge counters, he can use his effect again since it's not a hard once per turn. So let's go ahead and steal something else. You could have brought him back before linking into Rusty Bardiche, and you'd still have your opponent's monster here and this here, and you would have just used the Y-Strix and the Hawk Joe. Bring the full armor master back, use the Y-Strix and the Hawk Joe to make this, and in that case you would have still had a you'd be able to use his effect again to steal a second monster. So if they had a Borrello Savage Dragon and you used Dark Ruler no more at the beginning of this turn, and you just turned off all their effects, let's steal both of their monsters that have negates. Now on their turn, those negates work for me. Yeah, it's a very, very good way to set things up for your opponent to get destroyed. But let's just say you did link that away. Why are you a crackhead today? What are you doing? Just speed. I am speed. Let's just say we still have that, and we can still use our rank up spell, banishing literally any of these three. It really doesn't matter. We'll banish these three for whatever reason, and we'll use them to make the Arsenal Falcon. Then we detach the Arsenal Falcon to summon any level 4. It could be the barrier statue. It doesn't have to be. Could put a Zephyros on the board just so you have some stuff to do next turn. Or it can be the barrier statue. It's up to you. If you want to main deck that barrier statue, by all means, go for it. Very, very strong for it. Other than that, you've got the same setup you did. You still have the rank up spell that can turn this into the Kali Yuga. You've still got this with the compulsory. But now you've got the full armor master on top of that. And you stole one or two of your opponent's monsters. So you can get a lot of good things done with this. And it turns real bad for your opponent real quick. Other than that, that's pretty much just how strong that combo is, and we'll go ahead into the next. Alrighty guys, for the last one, we're just gonna get a test hand going, so we'll shuffle up and let's see what we can get into. Alright, that is gas. That is absolutely gas. Alright, let's play this out. Like I said, as long as you've got access to 3 blackwing monsters and can have a level 4, you are good to go. Having the 2 level 2s when one of them's Harmattan still has a level 4, so we are good to go. Of course, we are going to start off with that Dark Ruler no more if we're going second. If we're not, then we just hold it, because duh. We'll just assume we're going first. No cards on the field. Summon Gus the Bat Blast. Activate the Remolino Oscuro. And we're going to normal summon the Oster. Normal summon of the Oster will search us the only target available other than another Gust. We'll grab the Orochi. Next, after that, we're going to go ahead and special summon the Orochi, and special summon the Harmattan. We could go into full armor master if we're worried, but we're just gonna assume that our opponent doesn't have any hand traps, because you can't just guess at what your opponent has. That's pretty much all you're doing. So we'll go into the Y-Strix. Of course, you know the Y-Strix is gonna pull out the cards. Raiders Link. We're gonna go ahead and use that, and the Raiders Wing. We're gonna make our good old Force Strix because the Force is strong with this one, and we will detach the Raiders Wing to get both of those cards' effects. We have the Harmattan that we're gonna be able to use, so we could get the Oster, or we could get the Strangulanius. I just love doing the Strangulanius so much. Just such a better combo. Then with this, we're going to go ahead and use the Raiders Wing to bring that back by detaching that. Using these two to make the other link, the Rusty. And then we use the Rusty to use its effect. That's going to send the PK. Follow along with me. You'll memorize this combo in no time. The Rusty's going to get us that, but we're also getting the rank up magic off the Rusty. The PK banish itself to get the Shade Brigandine. And I totally didn't get the Y-Strix effect, even though I activated it and didn't resolve it. It's mandatory, so don't mess that up. Then we get the rank up magic. So we got all of these three set face down right now. That needs to be there. We've got two cards in hand, the Dark Ruler and the Strangulanius. And next up for us to do is to go ahead and activate the Rusty. Go ahead and use these two. Throw them way over there. And get us a spicy Time Thief Redoer because we like stealing our opponent's cards. Next we're going to go ahead and use the Magic Force, and the Magic Force will banish the Y-Strix, the Harmattan, and the Gust of Backblast in order to turn our Y-Strix into our Force Strix into an Arsenal Falcon. Now, in the version of this where I don't play the Shadow package, I play some more links like the Shirag, the Ominous Omen, as well as another Link 3 to go into, or Link 2 to go into. Sometimes I like things like Underclock Taker, because if I need to push for that OTK, it lets me get rid of my opponent's attack points. But basically anything you can use to just link these two away. When you link these two away, let's just say we did make the Underclock Taker. It really doesn't matter what you make. Whatever you decide you want to go into, that you want to play in your deck, as long as you can use those two monsters we just had to link away into them. It can be a Link 2, or you can find a way to get another monster on the field, make a Link 3. You know what it is. Anyway, you get the Underclock Taker. The Arsenal Falcon goes to grave while it had a Raid Raptor monster as material, so it summons itself, and the Arsenal Falcon slides up under it. Now you have his effect. He's unaffected by all card effects. You can detach a Xyz monster from this card, and for the rest of the turn, all monsters your opponent control will lose 1,000 attack, and your opponent's cards and effects cannot be activated. If this card has a Raid Raptor as its material, which it currently does before you use its effect, once returned during the end phase, you can make all monsters your opponent controls lose 1,000 attack. If your opponent controls no face-up monsters, you inflict, how much damage is that? 1,000 damage to your opponent, just cause. Going first, Okay, we're gonna end phase, burn you for 1,000, win in time, whatever. Or we detach that to get that other effect off. Make sure our opponents can't actually activate anything for the rest of this turn, but mostly just because you can. that's really the biggest thing about it, because you can. It even if the redoer comes back and you snatch a what's it called? When the redoer comes back, if you snatch a spell or a trap, as long as you don't snatch a monster off the top, you basically wait. Is that once per turn during this event? This is a you can. Just choose not to take your opponent's top card. On that next turn, you activate the rank up magic launch. Target a Dark Exceeds that doesn't have any materials. Rank it up by 1. What's a rank 5 that we play? Oh wait, you know what that does, right? We're just gonna detach this. These should be in the graveyard. Detach this. He's gonna gain all of these attack points. 3,000, 75, or 65, 75. 75 total. And you did burn. You did you're doing 75,000 or 7,500 attack. You can drop your opponent by that if you want to. Drop that opponent's monsters, you can run over it even more, and that's if your opponent had no monsters. But since you're this part of the play, you know, the quick play into that would have been on your opponent's turn or on your next turn, either one, because it's during the main phase. You could have just waited for your, you wait till your next turn, this comes back. Now I'm rambling, whatever. That activates, makes this on your next turn. Your opponent has something on the field. Use the underclock taker, run over them for game. Now, so I can stop rambling and you can get out of this god-awfully long video. Yep, that's pretty much it. And like, comment, subscribe. I know this was a very long video, but if you stuck with it, well, I appreciate you. And if you have any more requests, just let me know. The next video should be the requested, the Go Second version of this build. The Go Second version is pretty fun, pretty devastating. But also, if you have any other rogue decks you want built, let me know. I think the next one I'm working on is Generator until the Lightning Overdrive comes out and I can get that S-Force card, because turning your bounce effect into a non-targeting banish effect is just nuts, and I cannot wait to test that out. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Go check out DB Grinder as well as Mega Capital G, and y'all have a fantastic day.